y han salido los primos que nunca jamás han noqueado a nadie, los pillan por esteroides, son súper tramposos.
Siamonovic ოქტაგონში შევიდოდი Khabib Nurmagomedov. რატო მასთან? ცხებელი რეკორდი აქვს 29-0 და ატრაქტიული რეკორდი აქვს ჩემთვის. მე კიდე ისტორიულად ღირსეული ჩემპიონი არის, საპატივცემულო ჩემპიონი არის და ამარცხებ 100%.
Ilia Topuria has just slammed Islam and Khabib for taking steroids and took shots at every Dagestani wrestler. On the other hand, Islam Makhachev criticized the idea of Ilia Topuria moving up to lightweight, saying it doesn't make sense for smaller fighters to keep calling him out. He pointed out that even though he already beat Alexander Volkanovski twice, people still claim he just beat a smaller guy from a lower weight class. Makhachev believes the same criticism would happen if he fought Topuria. Fans would downplay the win because of the size difference. Instead, he said that moving up to welterweight and claiming a second title would do more for his legacy.
You know, Ilia Topuria is talking about coming to 155, and you're like, I'm tired of these little people coming up to fight me.
That makes sense. Give the chance third time from the same guy. Okay, I beat the Volkanovski twice. People still say you beat small guy.
Yeah.
It's not your weight division. If I beat Topuria, it's gonna be the same. Everybody gonna talk same. If I
go up,
takes a second belt, this is a legacy.
But Ilia Topuria claimed that Islam is scared as he addressed Islam Makhachev's comments about his size, suggesting that Makhachev is using the weight difference as an excuse to avoid the fight. He argues that if Makhachev truly believes that Topuria is too small, he should still be willing to face him in the octagon. Topuria emphasized that he doesn't need Makhachev to validate his career, but admitted the fight would be a fan favorite.
Hemos podido ver es primero que Makhachev no se abre del todo a pelear contigo, quizás porque tenga algún tipo de...
¿Tiene miedo? Claro que tiene miedo, por supuesto. Es como, siempre es una pelea fácil hasta que te ponen el nombre en el contrato, ¿no? Así que todos lo sabemos. Si fuera tan fácil y si fuera tan enano como él dice, ya compartiría el octógono conmigo, ¿no? Por algo no quiere. Yo lo entiendo, así que está bien. Súbete hacia arriba. No pasa nada.
Puede ser que Khabib le esté aconsejando no te metas con Ilia que te puede ganar.
Seguramente Khabib parece ser un buen consejero. Yo quiero pelear en las 155 libras, no necesito realmente el nombre de Islam porque tampoco es que sea nada extraordinario. Si se quedara a pelear conmigo, obviamente es una pelea emocionante para todo el público y si no es así, ya construiremos nuestro futuro.
Ilia Topuria stated that his sole focus is securing a UFC lightweight title shot, not a #1 contender fight. He believes a fight with Islam Makhachev would be the most exciting and profitable matchup, especially since other top contenders have already been defeated by Islam. Topuria dismissed whether Makhachev wants the fight or not, saying the champion will have no choice but to face him. He urged Islam to validate his status by taking the challenge, claiming that he had earned it by knocking out two featherweight icons, Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway.
Do you have a timeline of when you would like to fight at 155?
I would like to fight with Islam, that's for sure. I would like to fight him.
But if they don't give you that fight, if they give you like a #1 contender fight, when would you like to fight next?
I wouldn't fight for a #1 contender fight. No.
You only want to fight for the title?
Yeah, of course.
Also, it's the most marketable fight. Everybody else is lost to him, right?
I don't care if Islam decides that he doesn't want to fight me. I don't care. I said, till you're going to have to fight me. Okay? You say that you are the world champion, you're going to keep dominating the division, all that. I'm here. You can't keep avoiding me all the time. Prove that I deserve that shot. As you said, I knock out
two of the all-time greats.
Two of the all-time greats. To the greats, Walt, who was like dominating everyone in 145 division, and Max Holloway. Great fighters, both of them.
Ilia Topuria further criticized Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev, and Dagestani wrestlers, accusing them of relying on steroids to gain an unfair edge. He claimed their dominance is not purely due to skill, but enhanced by performance-enhancing drugs, calling for cleaner competition and stricter testing to preserve the sport's integrity and fairness.
Nunca jamás han noqueado a nadie, los pillan por esteroides, son súper tramposos y de repente saltan. Lo único que me indica es que tienen el sistema sistema nervioso dañado por tomar tantos esteroides porque es lo primero que daña, ¿sabes? Amenazar a un peleador con cuando nos veamos te voy a pegar, es como, chico, me dedico mi vida a la pelea, ¿sabes? Que sea un poco más creativo. No sé qué puedo decir. Su mejor es Islam.
Topuria went so far that he claimed that he could beat the undefeated Khabib Nurmagomedov. He said that Khabib has a great record and will be a great opponent for him, as it's also Topuria's dream fight.
საოცნებო მეტოქე ვინარი.
ჩემი საოცნებო მეტოქე ვინარი.
აი ვისაც აი გული დგინდა რომ ერთხელ გაუვიგე.
დიდი სიამოვნებით ოქტაგონში შევიდოდი ხაბიბ ნურმაგომედოვთან. რატო მასთან? ცხებელი რეკორდი აქვს 29-0-ზე და ატრაქტიული რეკორდი აქვს ჩემთვის. მე კიდე ისტორიულად ღირსეული ჩემპიონი არის, საპატივცემულო ჩემპიონი არის.
დამარცხება
100%.
Also seeking a shot at Islam, Ilia Topuria stated that stepping into the 155-pound division will elevate his performance to a whole new level. He said the extra weight makes him more powerful, better balanced, and fully energized, unlike before when he felt drained. Topuria warned that in this class, even a light shot to the head could end the fight. Confident in his stamina and grappling, he added that he's not just prepared for 5 rounds, but could go 5 days if needed.
So with this extra 10 pounds, how much better do you think you'll be able to perform inside the octagon? Because I would imagine physically, as good as your performances were, and they were spectacular, your body could not have been operating at 100%.
You are gonna see me at 155 that I'm gonna touch someone and I'm gonna take his lights out. I don't need to touch his chin. I just touch his head and it will explode. I feel so powerful at that weight class, so stable in the ground. Like, do you wanna wrestle? Let's wrestle. No problem. And I have the gas tank for 5 days, not 5 rounds.
However, Khabib Nurmagomedov weighed in on the potential clash, stating that Ilia Topuria hasn't earned a title shot yet. He pointed out that Islam Makhachev is getting older and should prioritize matchups against top-tier opponents with well-established track records. According to Khabib, Topuria still needs to face elite names before challenging the champion.
И он даже дрался с чемпионом 66, летел к нему. Он сам на то, да, в Австралию полетел, у него там на заднем дворе подрался. Команда, мы считаем, что Topuria, он достойный боец. Но он чемпион, защитил пояс, выиграл очень серьезных ребят. Но эти все ребята, которые были в 66, даже тот же самый Холлоуэй, который он выиграл, он перешел на 70, он ничего не сделал. Из-за этого нам нужно, чтобы Исламу тоже немного осталось. Если так посмотреть, Исламу скоро 34 будет. Но Ислам тоже хочет драться не с Topuria и с Волкановским, или который вышел на замену с Майканом. Ислам хочет драться с большими именами, которые заслуживают, которые давно уже в 70 килограмм. Ты переходишь вес, заслужи, и у нас примерно вот такая позиция.
Daniel Cormier supported Khabib Nurmagomedov's opinion regarding a potential clash between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, saying the bout likely isn't worth the gamble. He reflected on Makhachev's earlier crossover fight with Alexander Volkanovski, where even though Volkanovski was the top-ranked pound-for-pound fighter, Makhachev's victory didn't earn him the widespread credit it deserved.
I believe the response to those fights is why they feel it's not worth it. Because in those fights, you had a guy in Volk who's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, unquestioned. He beat him, and he did not get the respect or the love that might have been anticipated, right?
Cormier added that cross-division fights are meant to elevate a fighter's image, but that usually happens when the smaller competitor pulls off the win. Since Makhachev is naturally the bigger fighter, beating someone like Topuria might not give him much of a push in terms of legacy or hype. He sided with Khabib, stressing that with Makhachev's career window shrinking, only fights with meaningful payoff are worth considering.
Super fights mean that the person that comes on the other side of the super fight feels a lift after winning said super fight. I did it. I felt it after beating Stipe Miocic. Islam Makhachev, he had the fight, won the super fight, didn't feel the love because it was like, well, you beat a smaller guy. Maybe that's the case though whenever you're the bigger guy and you actually win. Maybe the love comes when you're the smaller guy and you win the fight. But Khabib's talking about the risk versus the reward, essentially. And the reward or the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. at least in the first case.
Beneil Dariush stated that Ilia Topuria might be the most deserving new face in the lightweight division, but he doubts that Makhachev and his camp are enthusiastic about offering another title opportunity to someone who came up from featherweight. He pointed out that after already competing against two opponents from 145, Makhachev's team probably feels that chapter is closed and now prefers fresh matchups within the 155-pound class. Dariush acknowledged that it's a complicated situation as Topuria brings a unique threat, but his featherweight history makes the potential fight a tough sell for Islam's side.
Ilia is coming into the division. I honestly think he's the most deserving, but I don't think Makhachev and his team right now want to give a shot to another 45er. I think they feel like they did it twice. That's enough, you know. Now they want contenders, and at the same time, but Makhachev also wants to fight new guys. So it's kind of one of those things where you're stuck because you have a new opponent, but he's a former 45er, and you're like, I don't want to fight another 45er. So it's a weird.
Michael Chandler noted the size difference between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, with Islam being the bigger lightweight. While praising Islam's grappling, Chandler gave Ilia the edge in striking. He emphasized that if Ilia can avoid takedowns, he has a chance, but Islam's strength and experience likely give him the advantage.
If Islam fights Ilia, I mean, I think there's definitely a size difference. I think Ilia is a lot smaller than Islam. Islam is a big lightweight, a tall lightweight, and he's good in every area. However, Ilia's definitely got the edge in the striking department, and Ilia is very, very, very patient. Now, if he's able to not get taken down and he's able to just patiently break down Islam with those big shots that he lands, the big punches that he lands, it's going to be a good night for Ilia. But I think if Islam gets his hands on him and gets him taken down, I mean, grappling with 145-pounders is a lot different than grappling with Islam, who is one of the best grapplers that we've seen in a very long time. He's strong, he's great at doing damage and getting good positions. I'd have to give the edge to Islam just by size, by strength of schedule thus far, and defending the belt, but I wouldn't count Ilia out.
Mateusz Gamrot shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, calling it an interesting matchup but doubting Topuria's chances. He pointed out Topuria's size disadvantage, noting that to compete with someone like Makhachev, you need to match his strength and size. Gamrot emphasized that being smaller would make it tough for Topuria to succeed in the fight.
Interesting fight, but but I don't know. Topuria is small guy. Islam is really big guy, and I don't think that Topuria has changed against him. You know, like if you wanna fight with Islam, you have to be like big guy, like similar like him, because he's good everywhere. But if your body is smaller than him, so you don't have change for sure.
Dustin Poirier shared his opinion, stating that if Ilia Topuria can defend Islam Makhachev's takedowns, his boxing could outshine Islam's and he may hit harder. Poirier recognized Islam's improved striking, becoming more elusive and crafty. Reflecting on his own fight with Islam, Poirier noted the size difference would likely be too much for Topuria to handle.
How do you think he would do against Islam?
I mean, if he can stop the takedowns, I think his boxing is better than Islam's. I think he's a bigger puncher. Yeah. Islam's technique is getting a lot better on the feet. He's kind of crafty and elusive. When I fought him, you know, he fought at a weird range, but I think the size difference is just too much, I believe.
Aaron Pico stated that the matchup is exciting for the sport and fans are eager to see it. He acknowledged that every fighter has their own unique style, and Ilia Topuria has been successful with his. However, Pico believes Islam Makhachev's skill and experience might be too overwhelming for Topuria to overcome.
There's holes here. I think it's good for the sport, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Islam, I mean, people really want to see that. Everybody has their own style, and it seems like his style is just doing what he did. Honestly, I believe Islam is just a little too much for him, but I'm also a fan, you know, so I would love to see that.
Alexander Volkanovski expressed his views on the potential matchup, recognizing that Islam Makhachev would present a significant challenge for Ilia Topuria. However, Volkanovski believes Topuria has the ability to land a big shot. He praised Ilia's striking, especially his patience in boxing, noting that Topuria stays composed while waiting for the right opening. Despite this, Volkanovski suggested that Islam would likely play a cautious game, aware of the danger posed by Topuria's power.
Look, it just comes to can Ilia catch him? You know, that's what it is, and he definitely can. Ilia's very, especially with his approach. He really backs his strike and his boxing. He really knows that he will eventually find the chin, and he's stoic till that happens. You know what I mean? He is on task, and he doesn't, you know what I mean? He'll go, even if things aren't working, he's still going to try and find it. So I think Islam's going to be a tough matchup for him, because Islam can be quite defensive and safe. I think he's going to know he needs to play it safe with Ilia, because he knows Ilia's going to have that puncher's chance.
Arman Sarukian shared his thoughts on the possible matchup, describing it as a closely contested and competitive fight. While he acknowledged Ilia Toporia's strong boxing skills, Sarukian pointed out that Ilia has yet to face a wrestler of Islam Makhachev's level. He noted that the outcome could go either way, and suggested that if he doesn't get the title shot, Topuria would likely be the next challenger in line.
If Islam and Ilia fought for the title, how do you see that one playing out?
It's a tough fight. Ilia, better striking, good boxing. He never fought with guys who can wrestle very well like Islam. So we'll say it's a 50-50 fight.
Do you think they're going to give Ilia the opportunity to fight Islam for the title if it's not you?
I think so. I'm open for everybody from top 5.
Demetrius Johnson offered his insight on the potential fight, calling it an interesting matchup. He emphasized Islam Makhachev's ability to utilize his reach and land body kicks, but questioned whether Ilia Topuria could capitalize on those kicks and transition into a takedown to bring the fight to the ground. Johnson expressed skepticism, noting that while Topuria is a superior boxer, we've already seen how Islam dealt with a skilled boxer like Dustin Poirier.
Ilia Topuria moving up to lightweight. If he does fight Islam Makhachev, how do you think that fight goes?
I think it'll be an interesting matchup, because I look at Islam's very good about using his length and throwing the body kicks. So are we going to see Ilia Topuria catch a kick for a takedown and start grappling with him? I doubt it. Ilia Topuria is a better boxer. We saw what Islam could do against a good boxer when it comes to Dustin Poirier.
I think Islam's going to be a tough matchup for him.
Max Holloway stated that Islam Makhachev's diverse skill set makes him a tough opponent to bet against. He praised Islam's experience and his ability to dictate the pace of the fight, which would likely prevent Ilia Topuria from securing a victory. Holloway stressed that Islam's proficiency in all aspects of combat gives him a significant edge in any potential matchup.
Ilia versus Makhachev, what would you think? Who would win?
I mean, bro, it's hard to go against Islam. His fighting style is a tough one. You know, he likes wrestling. He likes striking. Now he's falling in love with his striking. It's hard to bet against Islam. At the end of the day, if he gets it, that's cool, but probably not. He has Volk and Diego driving down the door right now, so I think they might keep him down here.
Mike Perry expressed his excitement about the potential fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, calling it a thrilling matchup. He praised Ilia for his impressive performances and noted the passionate fan bases behind both fighters, with Spain backing Ilia and Russia supporting Islam. Perry believes the fight would generate a lot of energy, making it an electrifying clash with immense fan enthusiasm.
Ilia versus Islam is a really cool fight. Ilia's been great. The people of Spain and versus the people of Russia. We know there's two really big support systems there.
Sean O'Malley shared his perspective on a possible fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, recognizing Islam's size advantage but also praising Ilia's impressive skill set. O'Malley views it as a potential super fight, believing that if both fighters maintain their high-level performances, their matchup could become one of the most highly anticipated in the sport.
You gotta tell me you wouldn't be interested in Ilia versus Islam. God, I mean, Islam is quite a bit bigger, but I feel like Ilia's skill level is just so high. Obviously, so is Islam. So that could be a potential super fight here in a few years if those guys keep doing their thing.
Bo Nickel sees Islam Makhachev as the pound-for-pound #1, but believes Ilia Topuria could present a strong challenge. He referenced Volkanovski's wrestling in their first fight with Islam, suggesting that Topuria might possess the necessary skills to compete effectively against Makhachev's abilities.
I think he's the pound-for-pound #1 right now, and I think he can win. And what makes me think that Ilia will do really well against Islam is that Volk's first fight with Islam. I'm like, man, Ilia's wrestling is way better than Volk's. And obviously, you could see how the striking went.
Jorge Masvidal expressed immense confidence in Ilia Topuria's grappling, stating he would bet everything on him. Masvidal highlighted Ilia's strong offensive grappling, especially his ability to defend against takedowns. He pointed out that if an opponent tries to take Ilia down and makes a mistake, Ilia could capitalize on it, reversing the situation and gaining control, which could put the opponent in a difficult position.
I'd bet the house on Ilia. His grappling offensively
it's very good. If like you shoot it on this guy's legs and you make a mistake and you're the one going for the takedown, he has a very good chance that he might put you out.
Jamahal Hill showed full belief in Ilia Toporia's chances against Islam Makhachev. He highlighted Toporia's fast hands, diverse striking, and one-punch knockout power, stating that if Ilia connects cleanly, he's capable of ending the fight, even when facing opponents in heavier divisions.
I believe he's capable of beating Islam. Just what I've seen and personally too. Just like hand speed and the tricks and the way he plays with his striking game. I believe he's definitely capable of catching Islam. And if he catches anybody, I believe he can knock them out. I believe his power might even carry. Not saying that his size and things like that, he can move up to like those higher weight classes, but if he catches it, the way he hits it, if somebody even the bigger weight class get like that, he can put them on wobble street.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.